Hello everyone, my name is Harleigh. Welcome to my Pechakucha. Today we will be discussing the novel Invisible Man, but specifically we will be looking into the white savior motif in the novel and also the race riot history in the 20th century. Now you may be wondering, what is the white savior motif and what does it mean? The white savior is a person who thinks it is their responsibility to support and help make people of the black community succeed. They believe that they are doing the right thing and think they are the ones in control of the black person's success, when in reality, people are in charge of their own success, not someone else's. A quote from the book displays to readers how Mr. Norton believes that his fate is the narrator. "So you see, young man, you are involved in my life quite intimately, even though you've never seen me before. You are bound to a great dream and to a beautiful monument. If you become a good farmer, a chef, a preacher, doctor, singer, mechanic, whatever you become, and even if you fail, you are my fate." Mr. Norton fits the white savior motif perfectly. He's a trustee of the Negro College, but he also believes that his time and money of investing into a college has transformed the black community. Him and the other founders identify as saving the blacks by creating an educational system for them. While Mr. Norton is a trustee of the Negro College and played an important role in the foundation of the college, he can simply not take credit for a black student's success in their education. While he did play an important role, each individual of the school worked hard day and night to become successful. They took the opportunity of being able to attend college and had success on their own. Mr. Norton does not recognize the fact that people make their own destiny and that what they do is their success. He cannot simply say that since he invested into the school that he takes all the credit for their success. He wants to control and feel like he is responsible for the success of the narrator, and also it brings in a piece of white supremacy to the situation. Let's take another look at a situation of Norton trying to be a white savior. "Here," he said, extending a banknote, "please take this and buy the children some toys for me." Trueblood's mouth fell agape. His eyes widened and filled with moisture as he took the bill between trembling fingers. It was a $100 bill. Through this quote, we learn that Mr. Norton is trying to fix things with money. It is clear that Trueblood's acts of incest will impact the family forever, but Mr. Norton throwing money at him is something that makes him feel like he's helping and supporting the family when it is not. While this doesn't personally affect Norton's life, he still feels he has a duty to try and help by buying toys. My secondary source is from an article called Unreliable Narrators and Racial Stereotypes in Invisible Man. Mr. Norton encounters a man named Trueblood, who explains his woeful act of incest toward his daughter, and after which Mr. Norton hands him a $100 bill to try and repair the situation that has engulfed this beleaguered father and his family. Mr. Norton perceives a great travesty and assumes that it can be fixed with money. As a rich white man, it is his responsibility to look after the poorer black folks who suffer such hardships. But instead of making a lasting change for the better, Mr. Norton simply provides a bit of monetary assistance that does little more than a band-aid would for a large wound. My thesis is, in the novel Invisible Man, the white savior motif and the riot scene are used as a way to show the power and control whites have over the blacks in society. Throughout the use of giving money to blacks, success being a white man's fate, and the riots being a fight for death between the blacks and whites, it shows who the power belongs to in society. The second part of my Pechakucha will go over the race riots history throughout the 20th century and the connection with our novel Invisible Man. Throughout this half, we will be talking about the Red Summer in 1919 and as well the Harlem riot in 1943. The Red Summer of 1919 was caused due to racial tensions from blacks moving from rural South to the North. In this tense atmosphere, the KKK revived the violence in the South. There were 64 lynchings in 1918 and 83 in 1919. Race riots happened in Washington, D.C., Chicago, Arkansas, Tennessee, Texas, and more. My second primary quote describes the narrator's feelings and beliefs about the riots. "No, but my hand struck the spear and I wrenched it free. They want this to happen," I said. "They planned it. They want the mobs to come uptown with machine guns and rifles. They want the streets to flow with blood, your blood, black blood, and white blood, so that they can turn your death and sorrow and defeat into propaganda." Will violence solve anything? No. The narrator believes that this violence is exactly what the white people want. They want violence and fights to create propaganda and create negative images about the black community. But he believes that they will all just keep dying if they feed into the violence and games of the white people. My secondary quote comes from Trinity College. Because of the representation of the riot and the events that precede and follow the riot in Invisible Man, it is clear that Ralph Ellison did not believe in the positive reforms that resulted from the Harlem riots of 1935 and 43. Instead, he portrayed these chaotic events as a sign of the fruitlessness of black civil rights struggles at the time.
Remarkable chapters ever written in American fiction. American race riots had always meant whites killing African Americans. But in the 1943 Harlem riot, the tables were turned. Exiting a subway in Harlem, Ellison heard not only crashing glass, gunfire, and sirens, but also the shouting of a great celebration. In fact, a carnival-like atmosphere developed as thousands of Harlemites looted white-owned stores and spared black ones. White mannequins were torn apart, limb by limb, as looters shouted, "I'm doing this for revenge." Ellison reported that the rioters were giving way to resentment over high prices, police brutality, and the mistreatment of World War II Negro soldiers. As in the actual event, Ellison's fictionalized race riot in Invisible Man foreshadowed a new black assertiveness, a boldness that would energize the coming civil rights struggle for racial justice.
Thank you for coming to my Pechakucha. I hope you enjoyed my presentation on the Invisible Man and the white savior motif, as well as the race riot history.